So welcome back. This is like episode 2 of the Seezoned crew, where we've been putting together a couple of experts from within Seez. We're looking soon to expand that out to a couple of our partners in the industry. Episode 2 of the Seezoned crew is featuring none other than our very own Gerry McEntee. How are you doing, Gerry?
Yeah, I'm really good. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you guys having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on. I think the auto industry has definitely been pushing really hard recently towards, a digital future. With your background, having been in the automotive industry almost your entire career, from dealerships to manufacturers to everything in between, I think everyone's been feeling the change, and you've played quite a few roles across the industry over the years. So to understand this, we want to get an insights on your digitization journey, how it's been impacting the industry. Offer us a clear view from the driver's seat. And to get started, Jer, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So again, thanks everyone. Appreciate you guys having me. Really good to be here. So my name's Gerry McEntee, head up sales for Seez and GCC. I've been in the region now just over a decade. First came out in 2014. I was with Dibizzle for about 6.5 years. I headed up their key accounts, from looking after their major retailers and high net worth spending clients along the likes of Sheikh Zayed Road and Al Quoz.
I think that was like the start of the digitization journey, right? And people starting to understand how impactful being online is, being able to be reached and being able to be found.
Yeah, 100%. And that was key. And I think, in Dibizzle done that. They, from an eyeball perspective, significant, monthly users that would come on and interact, and it done exactly that.
After Dibizzle, Jer, you were
after Dibizzle, so moved to Census, digital software provider. Again, headed up the region. So again, for me, it was really good to expand my network. Understand the digital footprint, how it was changing out there. Everything was evolving. So it was really good to start taking this product to market. Across the region and seeing how different countries are looking at from a digitalization aspect, really getting on board and really wanting to change how their customers and how their businesses are set up from a digital standpoint. I was with them for just over 2 years, and then moved to Saudi Arabia. So I really, I was really excited when the opportunity came up, because I thought, just being in Dubai for almost 10 years, going to experience Saudi was really exciting for me.
Yeah, experience all over the region.
Yeah, exactly. But now that I'm back, my wife doesn't want me to leave.
How about Qatar and Kuwait? Ever worked in those markets or been?
Never worked in them, but been. But previous, I used to visit them, several times a quarter. So again, I think that for me, Saudi, I really like with the 2030 vision. As a country, they were really in an upward trajectory. So for me, I was, really excited about, seeing that, being part of another startup, working for Petromin and Global Motor.
Very interesting. And then afterwards, after Petromin?
After Petromin, I had all 4 days off, and then straight into Seez. So
Seez. Well, Jer, thank you so much again for joining us today. Thanks for the intro. I think you just take a big picture to start. What do you think? For us, we're just curious, right? How has digitization basically, in our conversation today, will be mostly focused around embracing digitization in the auto industry, or what needs to be done to embrace digitization, or where we should maybe embrace digitization, etc. Just insights in the GCC region on how digitization has fundamentally reshaped some automotive businesses, particularly in the realm of sales and operation.
Yeah, so I think first of all, I think it's transformed the kind of pre-purchase research phase for customers. with the access to vast amounts of information now, obviously that's online, buyers are now looking to conduct extensive research on the vehicles that they're looking at buying, whether it be on different features, whether it be on price, even looking at now, reviews, of that particular make and model, or even reviews of that particular dealership as well. And I think this shift has made customers, more informed and more empowered, which I think leads, to a more transparent and a much more competitive, market.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I think also to support on that, I think from digital tools that have now became available to customers, you can look at VR, virtual showroom, or even augmented reality, to really enhance customers, experience. So customers can take virtual test drives, can use online configurations, customize a car that they would never have dreamed of, because you wouldn't get that color configuration in the showroom, and making that shopping experience more immersive and convenient,
more personal. Yeah.
And then I think thirdly, I think the rise of probably e-commerce platforms and enable customers the opportunity to buy online. I think we as from a working perspective, we now work a lot longer hours. We can travel a lot for business as well. So giving customers, I think, that convenience in order to, if they know the car that they want, they've driven it before, so giving them the opportunity to be able to go on and select that, purchase that vehicle through finance, get the car delivered to their doorstep, really, empowers the customer and really offers them, that convenience.
I think, we definitely are seeing how digitization is changing the way car buyers interact with dealerships, right? And then how is that affecting the overall sales process, right? Or how is the ideal experience these days? And I think jumping into the digital tools that you mentioned a little bit earlier, what specific digital tools have you found to be most impactful?
I think there's a number that I've used or I've experienced in my my time in the region. I think nowadays I find the likes of chat, whether it be AI or whether it be live chat, to be pretty powerful. I think that's become crucial for customer interaction, because again, we live in an era where people want things at their fingertips. They don't want to have to type or whatever it needs to be or search for that information. They'd rather just type a question and get it to them. It's all about that convenience. Tools that help prompt responses to inquiries that in real time really do help enhance that customer experience. And additionally now when we look at the AI powered chatbots, that's significantly increasing, because again that gives the customer that 24/7 support that with the likes of live chat they wouldn't get, because obviously maybe through a cost perspective or whatever it may be, having the AI then allows that retailer or that business to continuously support their customer throughout the day, morning, noon and night, whether it's about scheduling appointments or even just guiding them through the sales process.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're talking about the roles. I think the tools that are impacting the customer experience. How about on the back end? Are there any tools that you see the team using that is becoming more important in terms of enhancing the processes, the sales process, or anything on the back end?
Yes, I think digitizing has really streamlined dealership processes, and helping them, making them more efficient. But I think this really comes from CRM systems, and obviously digital marketing tools as well, to really help track and engage leads a lot more effectively as well. Because again, I think when you do that, it the result is is a better customer targeting, higher conversion, but also the customer becomes a lot more happier with their overall experience. And I think even inventory management systems have become a lot more sophisticated over the years, which allow again for better tracking and optimization of stock levels as well. So I think there's many different aspects to it. I think from a customer aspect, CRMs really tools really are the heartbeat of a dealer's process.
It's also a challenge, I think, with getting the team to start using those tools, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's again managing. I've spoke about it previously, managing that change and customers. The team being able to go in and use that system and use it on a daily basis and if efficiently and effectively use it in the right way in order to track how the money that's been spent for marketing, etc., is becoming effective and is doing its desired job.
100%. Is there any tool, digital tools that you thought would be beneficial, but then noticed that there's a lot of drawbacks with them? I mean, I having been part of the industry as well, I think we do face a couple of challenges. Can you tell me a little bit about the challenges that you've faced with digital tools or if you've ultimately rejected one due to those potential drawbacks?
I mean, it's a really good question. I think integrations is key, because you could have the best product out there within the automotive industry, but if it doesn't integrate with the other systems, or most importantly your core system, which would be your dealer management system, from an IT perspective, a lot of the heads of ITs or digital transformation
leaders
won't even look at this, because again it's about avoiding double entry, sometimes even triple entry, because again when you use a particular system, you're managing that change management within the business, getting them to use another system, or using that system coupled with another product. And if they don't speak to one another and you don't have the bi-directional aspect at it, then again it's from a sales
loses a lot of its power, right? If it's not
exactly, and then it just becomes it's another product that I'm using. You end up getting targeted it through your KPIs, and it's like, I'm just doing it for to hit my KPIs, but at the end of the day I don't see the value in it, because it doesn't pull. It'd be far more beneficial for me if I had that seamless integration. And I think when you're on a lot, you support on a lot of calls, like businesses, when we speak to them, they're all, the one thing that they strive for is integration. If you don't have that, and you don't work with the big players, and you don't integrate with them, as I say, you could have the best product out there, they won't entertain it.
Yeah, 100%. So switching gears a little bit, and I feel like going back a little bit to Gen AI, I think a conversation that sparked that has been active in multiple industries is, are we witnessing a decline of importance of human interaction within with the new technologies that have been coming, and in specific in the automotive industry, or do you not think it'll make an impact at all? Where might it make an impact, and which tools do you think might make an impact on our workflows in the next 10 years?
So I think I think yes, it is, but I think ever so slightly, because I think the areas it is initially making it is more at the top of the funnel, because I believe that customers, as I touched on before, that especially during the types of COVID, etc., people now spend more time searching online and using the digital, the websites, the marketplaces, the review sites, etc., in order to look for that particular vehicle. And then from there it's a case of that when they come into the showroom, they're much more down the funnel. So I believe the human interaction becomes slightly less. So it's more of like, you know, a hand-holding approach, getting them from, you know, from being halfway, you know, 50% of, you know, want to buy a car to all the way through to the purchase. I think businesses nowadays more and more like strive to see how they can, you know, interact with customers online digitally through the likes of AI or, you know, or human chatbots, etc. You know, to try and answer as many questions as they possibly can for that customer, to give them that convenience. But again, you know, supporting them, you know, 24/7 is sometimes another challenge, especially with human aspect to it. Whereas I think the likes of AI, that's where that really comes in and really, you know, helps, you know, enhance that customer experience, because it's, you know, it's 24/7. And we know in many different regions, you just cannot tell the time that someone's going to go and shop for a car. So yeah, I think in summary, I think, you know, customer interaction, human interaction would become less, because I think as we advance, I think more and more businesses and retailers will start to use the power of AI to really enhance, you know, that experience with customers, push them further down the funnel. And then I think it will be the human interaction, because people buy from people, right? So I really think it will be at that stage where that'll be the, you know, the difference between, you know, selling a car and not.
It's very interesting, because I think even in other industries, for example, when they talk about AI replacing humans, it's not about replacing humans at all, for two reasons. One, I think humans take the majority of the responsibility. You can't give responsibility to an AI. The idea then becomes, we become more productive, we become more efficient, we have AI supporting us with the mundane things. And then to close that deal, yes, you still need that human interaction, but to find the right person to close it with can be AI assisted, for example, right, in the automotive industry. So yeah, I think definitely we're making
for sure.
But I think like generally that's going to affect the quality of everyone's work. Not like the quantity is going to decrease, it's the quality that's going to go up.
Yeah, and I think you touched, I think efficiency is a big thing. I think AI can really support on the, you know, businesses and helping their sales, or, you know, their after sales, or their admin, or their finance, etc. be a lot more efficient, and focus on, you know, having to close the deals that are there in front of them, and using the AI to your advantage to, you know, go after the maybe you know, the long tail leads in that sense, and really get them further down the funnel, and then hand it over to the human where it needs to have that human interaction. You know, so I do completely agree with what you're saying there. So yeah.
So I think this opens the door to obviously another discussion is, you know, it's a win for customer experience, but is it an intrusion into privacy? Data privacy regulations we know are getting more strict. People are more conscious of where they put their data. Do you think that's having an impact in our industry?
I mean, I don't think so just now, because I mean, I've not thinking back, and I'm just thinking back to, like, you know, my experience, you know, when I'm looking for a vehicle, you know, it's standard information that the retailers would have, you know, name, email address, telephone number. So for me, I don't think we're intruding into people's, you know, lives. I think even, you know, the follow-up aspect of it as well. I think, you know, you expect when you inquire about a product, or you start shopping for a product, then there is going to be, you know, that element of, you know, follow-up, whether it be human or whether it be, you know, digitally through an AI or whatever it may be. But I think nowadays, you know, businesses are really focused on, you know, making sure that, like, you know, from a compliance aspect, you know, they're protecting themselves and they're protecting their customers, and, you know, they're really set up in that way in order for things like that not to happen.
I also think, like, even with other industries, malicious practices with data are much more exploitable. I think with automotive, it's not like you can prey on someone with a sales technique to get them to buy something, because this is a car purchase. It's not a small purchase where you can do like predatory tactics with sending out communication, etc. I think it's more difficult because it's such a big investment. It's not like you're gonna go ahead and buy something, you know what I mean? With any predatory tactic. But yeah, so I think
exactly. And as I say, I think businesses are now becoming a lot more, aware of of potential pitfalls and really safeguarding themselves, because there's nothing that more important than safeguarding that customer's information, because if anything did happen, then from a impact brand, and the impact that it can have in the brand overall can have a really negative impact. So again, I think more and more businesses are focusing on that to safeguard their customers and their data.
Makes sense. And this, talking about this once takes me to thinking about the potential challenges, right? We talked a little bit about integrations already. From top of my head, that might be the number one. But what challenges have you faced when implementing digital solutions, maybe outside of integrations? And what do you think can be done to achieve them successfully?
I think one of the things that I touched on before, I think it's being able to manage that change with your employees and your individuals, and because again, whether you're replacing an existing system or you're adding an additional system in to enhance the customer experience, then the biggest thing is, I'll use it for, because I'm in sales, I'll use it from a sales aspect, having that sales angle and getting them on board, because at the end of the day for them, they just see it as, I need to use another product. They might not straight away see the benefit that it not only gives to their customers, but it also gives to them as well. So I really think that managing the change is, internally is the biggest challenge that I have ever faced, because again, I may have been used to certain products that have been in the market for a while. Maybe newer people that have come into the industry have never used these things before. So again, some people are resistant to change. One of my biggest things that I had to learn through my career was being resistant to change. I didn't I was very resistant to it in my younger days, whereas one of the things that I was taught is businesses are always going to change, situations are always going to arise, and it's really how you as a leader and an individual deal with that, but also showing the team and the business the areas and how that product, by using it, can not only help support them in their day-to-day life, but also how it can also help potentially support their customers as well.
I think there's definitely an important differentiation between the management and the salespeople, and making sure that they're communicating, they're discussing, they're setting expectations for what's going to be required to implement these solutions with success early on, getting the buy-in, getting a quick understanding, and then doing proper education along the way once the systems are implemented. I think that's key, right? To actually being able to make these solutions successful and extract the value that they offer.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is as well, I think it's not just about when you roll out a new product or a new system. It's once you have that change and people are accepting of that system. It's continuously making sure that that you're enhancing it. You're using training on that particular product. Making sure that it stays front of mind, but also that they are used to the individuals or the sales execs or whoever it may be are always willing to adapt to new technology that comes in, because again we live in a world now that technology is changing at an alarming rate. So the products today are tomorrow's fish and chip newspaper. So it's things are always changing. So it's making sure that you're managing that as well continuously, throughout the process.
Interesting. Okay, very cool. Which brings me, I think, to my last point, right? Which is, where do you see this going? What do you think maybe is a realistic picture? Maybe what's an idealistic picture in your head? Like, where do you see the road of the future of automotive technology? Where are we going to be in 10, 15 years? What's going to change?
Another excellent question. I really think, like, you could, I could let my mind run away with it. I think the kind of surge that we've seen in electric vehicles is one. I think that will continue to strive, especially with governments, really pushing on EV, and obviously the sustainability of it. I think the biggest challenge that we'll have is infrastructure in terms of charging points and things like that. Being at malls and also coming into hotter climates, making sure that those long range vehicles can obviously achieve the long ranges that they're looking for. I think the likes of connected cars, increasing connectivity, help transform vehicles into smart devices on wheels.
It might be shared ownership, self-driving, stuff like that as well.
Yeah, exactly. As vehicles heavily rely on AI and machine learning, and I think we're starting to ramp that up collectively across the globe. So I think these things will become more and more in play. So just try to think what else, from there'll be a lot of I think as well, manufacturers will obviously move more into the advancements of AI and robotics, from a manufacturing process. Do you know what I mean? So to really help enhance efficiency, help reduce cost, and even sometimes improve quality as well. So I think there's a number of areas that we could see it, from that aspect. And to kind of the second part of the question, how do we stay ahead of the curve from that aspect? I think it's continuously investing in research, and development, and innovating, and basically stay forefront of technology trends. And I think we see that with new brands coming to the market as well. They're always wanting to give that longer range, or to add that new technology in as well. So I think that's a major factor, and obviously upskilling the workforce as well. So invest in training and upskilling your current workforce to handle these new technologies and processes. Because again, when you start bringing in these new types of vehicles, then we need to make sure that we are capable of servicing them, and maintaining those vehicles in case any issues do go wrong. And finally, just to kind of start, I think even from a customer-centric approach, keeping the customers at the centre of your digital transformation efforts. So really, ensuring the technologies that will enhance the complete customer experience. Because again, everyone strives to give that seamless experience and the best experience to their customers. But also with all these new technologies coming in, we really need to make sure that these technologies do, help the customer, and really support on that customer centricity.
For sure, I definitely think as well, when we talk about technology in the automotive industry, it's always the ones that are most open to change and wanting to stay ahead of the curve that we see the greatest success with, right? Like we offer these tech solutions, and it's those that are ready to stay ahead of the curve and that are understanding of technology. I mean, the world ultimately is changing and moving forward. You need to have an understanding of technology to actually maximize the value of it. Any other thoughts, Gerry, on the automotive industry? Thank you so much for your time today. But any closing thoughts that you have, or?
No, I mean, I think from my time in the industry, I just want to kind of I've been over a decade. I've been fortunate enough that every single one of my roles has always been in the automotive industry. So I'm kind of pigeonholed myself into that one industry, which I love.
It makes you an expert, Gerry. It makes you an expert.
Well, exactly. But I would like to think so anyway. So, but no, I just think I think working with Seez, especially, and how looking at the team, especially from a technology perspective, how innovative they are in terms of trying to picture the next kind of 3-4 years and where we're going to be. I think for me that ChatGPT, Caesar that we've launched, I think it's amazing to be able to say that we believe we created the world's first ChatGPT, which is specifically for automotive. So I think working with a business like Seez, and the guys having that vision a number of years ago, for me is extremely exciting. And the conversations that I have on a daily basis with customers, it's like these guys are blown away with its capabilities and what it can do. And for me, the exciting thing is it's just getting started. So it's like one of the points I use is like Siri or Alexa, or its capabilities when it first launched versus its capabilities now. So it's and being on the the product calls and seeing the product roadmap is extremely encouraging. I wish I could fast forward 6 months and see where we are. But yeah, it's
definitely an exciting time. Gerry, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you coming on here.
Really appreciate you having me.
And we look forward to having you back sometime soon.
Anytime, guys. Anytime.
Next time in person.
Yeah. You might need to put subtitles for the fans.
Sounds good. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.